My grandmother walked into her own funeral. Imagine this: black suits, crying relatives, a closed casket. Everyone certain she was gone until the doors opened, and there she was, alive. And in that instant, every secret unraveled. My name is Daniel Price, and this is the story of how my grandmother faked her own death and exposed the family that tried to bury her, literally. It was 6:41 a.m. on a rainy Tuesday. I was sitting at my kitchen table in Toledo, Ohio, staring at a pile of unpaid bills when the phone rang. The caller ID said Victoria Price, my aunt. We rarely spoke unless something was wrong. I answered, and her voice was flat, rehearsed. "Daniel, I'm so sorry. Your grandmother passed away early this morning." My stomach dropped. "That's impossible," I said. "I just saw her last week." "It was peaceful," she replied. Then, almost casually, "The funeral is this Friday. Everything's already arranged. The estate has been settled. It's all going to the Price Foundation. There's nothing left for you." And just like that, she hung up. No sympathy, no hesitation, only money. And right then I knew something was very wrong. My grandmother's name was Eleanor Price, the Iron Tailor of the Midwest. She built a textile empire from nothing, smart, tough, and unstoppable. When my parents divorced, she raised me herself. About 6 months ago, Victoria claimed Eleanor had advanced dementia. She moved her into a private care facility and became her power of attorney. Suddenly, calls went unanswered. Visits were restricted. "She doesn't recognize anyone anymore," Victoria told us. But that didn't sound like Eleanor Price. My grandmother might have been older, but she was sharper than anyone I knew. After that phone call, I couldn't focus. Something felt off. So I did something simple. I called the nursing home. "Hi, I'm Daniel Price. My grandmother Eleanor, I was told she passed away this morning." There was a long pause. Then the nurse said, "Sir, your grandmother is alive. She just had breakfast." My heart stopped. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely, sir." That night my phone buzzed. A blocked number. I hesitated, then picked up. "Hello?" A whisper answered. "Daniel, it's me." My chest tightened. "Grandma?" "Yes, listen carefully. I am not sick. I've been pretending. They think I don't know what they're doing, but I do." And then, piece by piece, she told me everything. She had discovered Victoria siphoning her money, rewriting documents, and isolating her from everyone. So Eleanor came up with a plan. She moved her real wealth into a secret trust and left bait money in the accounts Victoria could reach. Every transaction, every conversation was recorded. "She thinks she's winning," Eleanor said. "Let her. When the time is right, she'll bury herself." 2 days later, Victoria sent out funeral invitations. A private service, complete with a press release and media coverage. She wanted the world to see her as the grieving heir and the new financial face of the Price name. I tried calling Grandma again. No response. For 2 nights, silence. I didn't know if she'd been discovered or if this was part of her plan. Then came the funeral day. The chapel was packed. Reporters, business executives, family friends. Victoria stood at the podium in a tailored black dress, delivering a eulogy that sounded more like a victory speech. My mother trusted me with everything. The heavy chapel doors creaked open. The crowd turned. A ripple of whispers filled the room, and then the tap, tap, tap of a cane against the marble floor. Eleanor Price, alive, walking slowly but steady. 2 detectives followed behind her. Victoria's face went pale. "Mom?" she stammered. Eleanor's eyes were cold, but alive. "You tried to bury me while I was still breathing," she said. "Now it's your turn to answer for it." One detective stepped forward. "Victoria Price, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and attempted estate theft." Gasps, camera flashes, a room full of power and shame. And in the center of it all, Eleanor stood victorious, the woman who outsmarted her own funeral. It's been 3 years since that day. My grandmother lives quietly now, occasionally laughing about the best performance of her life. Victoria is serving time for financial fraud. And me? I learned something simple, yet hard to accept. Blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does, love does, and sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one holding all the power. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Real or not, there are always lessons hidden inside the lies.